This happened only a few months ago, and even now, when I think about it, my stomach turns cold like someone poured ice water through my veins. Because no matter how many times I replay it in my head, it doesn't feel like a dream or a coincidence. It feels like something evil brushing against me in the dark. I grew up in a quiet little town in northern Kentucky, the kind of place where the nights are so still you can hear your own heartbeat and everyone knows each other's names. When it came time for college, I didn't go far. I enrolled at a small university hidden on the edge of a sleepy village called Haverick Falls, about a 15-minute drive from my family home. I won't name the school because to this day the thought of its gray brick dorms and long, echoing hallways gives me chills. It was the autumn of 2022, and because the pandemic was still casting its shadow over everything, the campus felt half abandoned. Most students were too nervous to live in the dorms, so they rented apartments nearby. I couldn't afford that. I stayed on campus, telling myself it would be fun, that I'd get the full college experience, but instead I found myself in a building that felt hollow and haunted, where most nights you could walk an entire hallway without hearing another human voice. On my first day there, I met my assigned roommate. Before we moved in, the school had texted us each other's numbers so we could connect, which felt invasive but harmless. She introduced herself as Marissa. Over text, she seemed polite, if a little clipped. In person, she was the same, thin, pale, with a coldness behind her friendly smile, like she was always thinking about something she couldn't tell you. I was nervous, but tried to be friendly. During one of our first conversations, she mentioned casually, "Last semester, everyone had their own room because so few people signed up. I had one to myself, but now you're here." She said it without a smile, almost like a complaint. And I remember feeling awkward, changing the subject to something else. I told her I lived nearby, that I'd be going home most weekends and coming back early Monday mornings. She nodded, but said little. Most weekdays, she stayed with her boyfriend in his dorm, so our room often felt like mine alone, which I didn't mind. Then, the strange things began. The first Friday I left for home, my bag packed, my dorm key heavy in my hand, I felt an odd tension in the room, like Marissa was staring at me without expression. I brushed it off, went home, and returned that Monday at 6 in the morning. The halls empty and silent like a church. My first class wasn't until 10, so I set my things down and collapsed onto my bed, which had a thick memory foam mattress. I had only been lying there 10 minutes, barely awake, when I felt it, the edge of the mattress dipping, slow and deliberate, like someone leaning their weight against it. My eyes snapped open, but I didn't move. My heart began hammering. After a moment, the pressure lifted, the mattress rising again as though no one was there. My skin prickled. I rolled over, and there was Marissa on her own bed, turned to the wall, perfectly still. I tried to calm myself. Maybe I was just tired. Maybe I imagined it. That Friday I left again, but this time the drive home felt heavier, my mind circling what had happened. Monday at dawn, I came back as before, the sky pale gray outside the window. I lay down and closed my eyes. Within seconds, the mattress dipped again, not just at the edge this time. The whole side sagged, as if someone sat down right next to me. I stayed frozen, my breath trapped in my chest. Then I heard it, the faint creak of movement, a sound like feet leaving the bed, and then the unmistakable thud of someone jumping down. My bed was high. I used a stool to climb onto it. Whoever or whatever had been sitting there had jumped off. My eyes darted to Marissa's bed. She was there again, back turned, hair spilling over her pillow. I couldn't tell if she was breathing slow or holding her breath. I laid awake a long time, convinced I was either losing my mind or something truly wrong was happening. By the third Monday, I was exhausted, but also on edge. I returned early and found her already lying down, this time facing my bed. I forced myself to act normal, climbed under my blanket, and shut my eyes. 5 minutes later, the mattress sagged again. My blood went cold. I felt weight beside me. Then, without warning, a hand touched the back of my neck. Light at first, then firmer, like testing my skin. I wanted to scream, but no sound came out. I didn't move, didn't even breathe. The hand stayed there for what felt like forever, neither squeezing nor letting go. Then it was gone. The weight lifted, the sound of a soft thump on the floor. I stayed frozen until my chest hurt from holding my breath. When I finally rolled over, she was in the same position, turned to the wall, as if she had been asleep the whole time. My hand shook. I grabbed my phone, left the room, and called my mom. I didn't go to class that day. The school moved me to another dorm after my mother reported everything. They asked if I wanted to involve the police. I said no. How could I prove anything? It would be my word against hers. I just begged them not to give her another roommate. In my new room, unpacking boxes with trembling fingers, memory surfaced. Once she had mentioned her previous roommate hadn't stayed long, but refused to say why. Another time, I'd seen her open a locked drawer and pull out a line of prescription bottles, at least 10 of them. She'd said they were for her skin. I wasn't so sure. The more I thought about it, the more the pieces didn't fit. A few days later, she messaged me saying I left a book and a binder. My first instinct was to leave them behind, but I didn't want her to think I was scared, so I agreed to stop by. My key still worked. The room was empty when I entered. I grabbed my things quickly, glancing around at the unmade bed, the neat rows of bottles in the drawer, now half hidden under clothes. As I turned to leave, the door swung open. She was standing there, blocking the frame, no sound of a key turning, just there. My stomach dropped. I forced a smile. She didn't return it. I tried to step past her, but her eyes followed me like knives. She asked, "Where's your new room?" I told her it was on the first floor. "Which hall?" she pressed. I lied again, by the stairs. "What's it near?" she asked again. Her tone was gentle but insistent, like she needed to know. I lied again, repeating the same answer. Her lips curved slightly, but not into a smile. I walked out and never looked back. I didn't tell her boyfriend. I didn't tell anyone else. Even now, months later, I replay it in my head. The mattress dipping, the hand on my neck, the questions about my new room. Was she sleepwalking? Was it the side effects of medication? Or was she testing how far she could go before I woke up, practicing some quiet ritual of control? My mom believes she was planning something worse, that her hand on my neck was a rehearsal for choking me, that maybe her first roommate had run for the same reason. I'll never know. All I know is I got out. I changed my number. I never saw her again. And when I think of those dark mornings in that dorm, I still feel her fingers, cold and careful, resting on my skin in the silence before dawn.